Hello! In this video we are going to visit the iconic monument Pantheon in Latin Quarter in Paris. And I'm going to explain you its importance and history, but I will also share with you some interesting facts about it. You know that there are other pantheons in different parts of the world with a similar architectural design, including the famous Capitol in Washington. So what do the different pantheons have in common? We will see the Foucault Pendulum, which shows the rotation of the Earth. Is this the original one? And how does it work? The tombs of several important names in world history like Voltaire or Jean-Jacques Rousseau are here, and we will remember who they are. We will also have a deeper look at the architecture and history of Pantheon. Let's get started. Welcome to the heart of the Latin Quarter in Paris, where one of the city's most majestic and meaningful monuments stands, the Pantheon. Overlooking Paris from the Sainte-Geneviève hill, the Pantheon is a masterpiece from several aspects. Let's discover the Foucault Pendulum first. The Foucault Pendulum was installed in Pantheon to demonstrate the rotation of the Earth. It was first set up in 1851 by the French physicist Léon Foucault, who wanted to prove in a simple, visual and undeniable way that the Earth rotates on its axis. The pendulum consists of a heavy metal bob suspended on a long wire over 67 meters. As the pendulum swings back and forth, it appears to slowly rotate over time, but actually it's the Earth that is rotating, while the pendulum swings in a constant plane. It was one of the first direct physical proof visible to the naked eye that Earth is rotating. Foucault originally conducted his experiment in the Paris Observatory, but it was quickly moved to the Pantheon because the Pantheon's dome is very high. It's perfect for suspending a long pendulum. It was a public building where many people could witness the experiment. It aligned also with the Pantheon spirit of reason, science, and national pride, especially in the Age of Enlightenment. The pendulum we see here is not the original one. It's a modern replica using a precise motor to keep it swinging. How about the different pantheons in the world? While the Pantheon in Paris is one of the most famous ones, it's not the only pantheon in the world. The term Pantheon originally comes from ancient Greek, meaning temple of all gods. But over time, it has evolved into a term of monuments honoring great people, or gatherings of national heroes. Some notable pantheons in the world are the Pantheon in Rome, Italy, the original and very famous Pantheon. It was built originally as a temple for all Roman gods. It is the burial site for several important Italians, including artist Raphael and King Victor Emmanuel II. Pantheon of Illustrious men in Madrid, Spain. A neoclassical building dedicated to honoring Spanish statesmen, military heroes and writers. Walhalla in Regensburg, Germany. This temple-like memorial was built in the 19th century and honors distinguished Germans in history, including scientists, poets, and leaders. Inspired by the Pantheon in Athens and sits on a hill overlooking the Danube River, houses, busts, and plaques over 200 individuals. US Capitol, Washington, D.C. has a huge dome that makes the resemblance. The building has reserved halls that houses statues of influential Americans like George Washington, Martin Luther King Jr., and more. Pantheon sits on top of the Sainte-Geneviève hill and was first built as a church. It is a magnificent place that tells the story of France through its most iconic figures. The site of the Pantheon had great significance in Paris history and was occupied by a series of monuments. It was also the original burial site of the Sainte-Geneviève. Sainte-Geneviève became the protector and spiritual leader of Paris during the threat of invasion by Attila the Hun. Panic spread through the city, but Geneviève encouraged the people. Miraculously, Attila's army changed course and did not attack Paris. This event was seen as a sign of divine intervention and credited to Geneviève's faith and leadership. After she died, a church was built in her honor by Clovis, king of the Franks, where he and his wife were later buried in. And later on, she became the patron saint of Paris. About more than 1,000 years later, in 1744, Louis XV fell seriously ill and promised to rebuild the old church if he recovered. After the king's recovery, it would take about 10 years for the project to start. The architect Jacques-Germain Soufflot was tasked with the design. The style of the edifice is a mixture from Gothic to Neoclassicism and certain codes of the ancient Greece. He was inspired by the St. Paul Cathedral in London, St. Peter's Basilica, and the Pantheon in Rome, from which he drew inspiration for the dome, the columns, and the pediment. The edifice was built between 1758 and 1790. During the French Revolution, the building was secularized and transformed into a mausoleum to honor the great men and then women of the nation. Its function has oscillated between religious and secular uses, but since the 19th century, it has firmly remained a secular temple to the memory of France's national heroes. That was a change which is also accompanied by modifications in the appearance of the building. One of the most visible changes is the blocking of the windows of the church, whose frames are still visible today from the outside. A choice totally against the will of Soufflot, which plunges the place into darkness. This is a high relief commemorating the battle in which the ship Le Vengeur sank while fighting a British squadron. Monument to Jean-Jacques Rousseau exhibits 5 female figures as major aspects of Rousseau's work in an allegorical representation: music, truth, philosophy, nature, and glory, from left to right. This group bears the inscription, "The Encyclopedia prepares the idea of the revolution." This work stands out from the rest of the sculptures by commemorating the ordinary and unknown individuals and artists. Located in the building's apse, the sculpture confirms the place of the memory of the French Revolution within the Pantheon. It took François Sicard 8 years to complete this big monumental sculpture, measuring nearly 10 meters long. Marianne stands at the center of the pyramidal structure. With the look on her face, she symbolizes the French Republic. To the left stand representatives of the people swearing allegiance to her, while to the right is a parade of the Republican soldiers of various ranks. The sculpture celebrates the rise of the First French Republic by reaffirming its values, particularly of freedom. Live free or die, as the motto just below Marianne's feet declares. The Pantheon is now a monument of the French Republic, dedicated to those who shaped the nation's intellectual, political, scientific, and cultural identity. The following is inscribed on the pediment of the building after the French Revolution: "To great men, the grateful homeland, expressing the nation's gratitude to its most honored citizens." So who is buried here? Some of the most powerful voices of French literature and philosophy rest here. Voltaire, Enlightenment thinker, buried in 1791, advocated for freedom of speech and religion. Jean-Jacques Rousseau, philosopher of the French Revolution. Victor Hugo, author of Les Miserables and The Hunchback of Notre Dame. His funeral drew over 2 million people. Émile Zola, writer and journalist, famous for J'accuse and the Dreyfus Affair. Alexandre Dumas, creator of the Three Musketeers, and he entered the Pantheon in 2002. The Pantheon also honors the minds that changed the world through science. Marie Curie, the first woman buried in the Pantheon for her own achievements, discovered radioactivity. Pierre Curie, her husband and scientific partner. Resistance, courage, and civic service also earn a place in this temple. Jean Moulin, a unifying figure of the French resistance during the Second World War. Simone and Josephine Baker are also amongst the most recent commemorations in Pantheon. The idea of turning the Pantheon into a national mausoleum began during the French Revolution. It was meant to honor not only kings or nobles, but citizens who served the nation through intellect, art, and courage. Entry into the Pantheon is one of the highest honors in France. It's not just about fame, it's about shaping the values of the Republic. Today, the Pantheon is a living monument, a place of memory, reflection, and pride, where the past continues to inspire the future of France. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you in my next video.